Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you can't see. You don't owe the world an explanation for your pain. Strength grows in silence, not in announcements. Protect your energy, work in private, and let your results do the talking. Keep your struggles private. Not everyone deserves to know your problems. Some pretend to care, judge, or use your pain against you. In a world where everyone is quick to speak and slow to understand, your silence becomes your protection. When you open your heart to the wrong people, you give them power. Power to misinterpret your intentions, power to twist your words, and power to define your story in ways that serve their own narratives. Some people listen only to gather information, not to support you. Others pretend to care just enough to stay close to your life, but not enough to lighten your burdens. That is why privacy becomes wisdom, not secrecy. You are not hiding, you are preserving what is fragile, healing what is broken, and shielding what is still growing. When you carry your struggles quietly, you create a safe space within yourself where clarity can form. You avoid the noise, the opinions, and the unnecessary commentary that often makes the burden heavier. Privacy gives your mind room to think, breathe, and process without interference. It allows your emotions to stabilize before you invite anyone else into your experience. When you constantly explain your pain to others, you reopen wounds that were slowly trying to close. Silence, however, acts like a bandage, protecting your healing until you are strong enough to walk freely again. People's reactions to your vulnerability reveal more about them than about you. Some will judge your pain because it triggers their insecurity. Some will compare it to their own because they lack empathy. And some will simply downplay it because your growth threatens them. The fewer details you give, the less ammunition others have to hurt you. Not everyone who smiles at you is an ally. Not everyone who listens is a friend. And not everyone who knows your story wants to see you rise from it. When you share everything you feel with everyone around you, you unknowingly invite negative energy into your life. Energy that disturbs your peace, clouds your judgment, and weakens your spirit. Private struggles teach you to rely on yourself. They shape you into someone who doesn't collapse under pressure or crumble from isolation. Silence forces you to develop inner strength, strength that doesn't depend on validation, attention, or external comfort. You begin to understand that not every emotion needs an audience, not every setback needs a witness, and not every tear needs someone else's shoulder. And slowly you learn that the most powerful breakthroughs often happen when no one is watching. Your growth becomes pure because it is not influenced by external voices. It becomes authentic because it comes from within, not from applause or advice. Keeping your struggles private also protects your future. When you talk too soon, you give others access to a version of your life that is still under construction. And people love to judge unfinished stories. They create narratives about you based on a chapter you haven't completed. But when you work quietly, you give yourself time to grow, time to change, and time to rise without interference. Then, when you finally emerge stronger, your results speak for you louder than any explanation ever could. Privacy is not weakness, it is emotional intelligence. It is knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to open your heart and when to guard it. It is choosing peace over validation, growth over attention, and strength over sympathy. The world doesn't need to know everything you're carrying. What truly matters is that you keep moving, keep healing, and keep becoming the person you're meant to be, quietly, powerfully, and on your own terms. Strength is built in silence. Facing battles quietly builds resilience and prevents you from leaking energy through constant explanation. True strength is rarely loud. It is formed in the moments when no one is watching, when you choose discipline over distraction, calm over chaos, and patience over pressure. Silence becomes a training ground where you learn to manage your emotions, understand your triggers, and control how you respond to life instead of reacting impulsively. When you stop trying to defend your decisions or justify your struggles to others, you conserve the energy you need to stay focused on your path. The world does not need to know every detail of what you are fixing, healing, or building. Often, the more you speak, the more people misunderstand, judge, or discourage you. Silence protects your vision from unnecessary opinions and gives you space to grow beyond noise. Quiet battles create mental toughness. When you learn to endure discomfort alone, you become someone who no longer crumbles when pressure rises. You develop emotional intelligence, you understand yourself deeply, and you become less affected by external validation. Silence teaches you to face reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. It helps you see solutions more clearly because your mind is not polluted with distractions or unwanted voices. In silence, you learn to differentiate between what truly matters and what is simply noise demanding attention. Most breakthroughs happen during quiet reflection, when your thoughts settle and your purpose becomes clear. Strength also grows when you stop announcing every plan or dream. Not everyone deserves access to your vision, and not everyone will celebrate your progress. Some will doubt you, some will envy you, and some will quietly hope you fail. Keeping your journey private protects you from negativity and shields your momentum from sabotage. When you stay silent, you avoid unnecessary comparison and stay aligned with your own timeline. Silence makes your discipline stronger because no one is watching to clap for you. You must clap for yourself. It forces you to rely on internal motivation rather than external applause. Quiet growth also builds humility. When you stop talking and start working, your focus shifts from appearing strong to actually becoming strong. You learn that real results speak louder than any explanation you could give. People start noticing your transformation not because you announced it, but because your actions made it impossible to ignore. Silent battles refine you, strengthening your character and sharpening your identity. You gain confidence not from praise, but from the knowledge that you overcame challenges others never even saw. Facing battles silently also protects your energy. Every time you explain, defend, or argue, you are giving away emotional power. Silence is strategic. It conserves your strength for the things that matter: healing, progress, discipline, responsibility, and purpose. You learn to channel your energy toward building your life instead of managing other people's opinions. The less you explain, the more peaceful your mind becomes. The more peaceful your mind is, the stronger your decisions become. Silence is not weakness, it is maturity. It is the space where transformation happens without distractions. It is how you build a version of yourself that is unshakable, grounded, and deeply resilient. Strength built in silence doesn't fade. It becomes a permanent part of who you are. Silence makes you independent. Talking for validation creates dependence. Staying silent builds toughness and self-reliance. When you constantly seek approval or reassurance from others, you unknowingly give them power over your emotions, choices, and confidence. You become dependent on their reactions to feel secure about your direction. But when you embrace silence, you learn to validate yourself. You stop waiting for permission, applause, or understanding. Silence teaches you to trust your own judgment, stand firm in your decisions, and rely on your inner compass, rather than the shifting opinions of others. Independence begins when you no longer need others to tell you who you are or what you should do. Silence strengthens your inner voice. When you talk less, you hear yourself more clearly. You notice what you truly want, what bothers you, and what inspires you. You stop absorbing the noise around you and start recognizing your own wisdom. Silence gives you the emotional clarity needed to make decisions without fear of judgment. It builds a foundation of self-awareness that helps you stand tall even when others disagree with you. The more you get comfortable being alone with your thoughts, the more confident you become in walking your own path. Independence grows from trusting that path, even when it is quiet and lonely. Talking for validation often leads to oversharing, revealing plans, dreams, and struggles to people who may not understand or may secretly root against you. When you stay silent, you protect your goals from unnecessary influence and negative energy. Silence creates a boundary between your growth and the world's opinions. It keeps you from being swayed by doubt, envy, or discouragement. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world, and silence teaches you to keep what is sacred protected. Independence is easier to build when your vision is not interrupted by external noise. Silence also builds mental toughness. When you resist the urge to explain, defend, or justify yourself, you train your mind to stay calm under pressure. You learn to carry your struggles without collapsing into emotional dependence. Hard moments become opportunities to strengthen your resilience instead of excuses to seek sympathy. Silence forces you to develop problem-solving skills because you stop expecting others to rescue you. You learn to rely on your own ability to think, adapt, and push through. This is where true self-reliance grows, when you trust yourself enough to face challenges without needing constant support. The discipline of silence also teaches emotional control. Instead of reacting impulsively or seeking comfort through unnecessary conversations, you learn to sit with discomfort and process your emotions internally. You stop using people as emotional crutches and start developing your own emotional balance. Over time, this makes you stronger, calmer, and more stable. Independence is not just doing things alone. It is being emotionally grounded enough to handle life without falling apart. Silence builds that foundation, one moment of restraint at a time. When you stop talking for validation, your relationships also become healthier. You no longer rely on others to make you feel worthy. Instead, you bring completeness into your interactions, not neediness. You stop placing pressure on people to understand or approve everything you do. Silence shifts your energy from seeking validation to building authenticity. You start valuing depth over attention, connection over approval, action over explanation. Independence becomes your natural identity because you are no longer shaped by how others see you. Silence is a powerful teacher. It builds confidence, resilience, emotional strength, and mental clarity. It frees you from the chains of external validation and teaches you to stand on your own feet. Silence does not make you distant. It makes you disciplined. It does not make you weak. It makes you unshakable. The more comfortable you become with silent self-reliance, the more unstoppable you become in life. Share only with the trustworthy. Protect your struggles like treasure. Reveal them only to people who have earned the right to hear. Not everyone you meet has the capacity, maturity, or integrity to hold your truth with care. Some listen only to gossip, not to understand. Some act supportive in front of you, but celebrate your setbacks behind your back. This is why guarding your struggles is not secrecy. It is wisdom. Your pain, your doubts, your fears, and your hopes are not casual topics. They are pieces of your soul. You must preserve them the same way you would protect something precious, because once shared with the wrong person, they can be twisted, judged, or weaponized. Trust must be earned, not given freely. People reveal who they are through consistency, loyalty, and how they treat others in private moments. The trustworthy do not run from your struggles. They stand beside you without judgment. They listen to understand, not to gain information for later use. They encourage without comparing. They give without expecting anything back. Before opening your heart, observe how someone handles your silence, your boundaries, your no's, and your vulnerability. These are the tests of true trustworthiness. If someone cannot keep your small secrets, they cannot be trusted with your deep wounds. If someone mocks others behind their backs, they will eventually do the same to you. Silence around such people protects your emotional safety and your future. When you share your struggles with just anyone, you expose fragile parts of yourself that are still healing. Every early-stage dream, every fear, every moment of doubt is like a seed. If you plant it in toxic soil, judgment, jealousy, misunderstanding, it dies before it grows. Untrustworthy people feed your doubts, amplify your insecurities, or discourage your progress. They may question your dreams because they don't believe in their own. They may try to keep you small because your growth threatens their comfort. Protecting your struggles does not mean isolating yourself. It means creating boundaries strong enough to keep negativity out. Sharing with the trustworthy, however, accelerates your growth. A trustworthy person gives perspective without belittling you. They help you see solutions instead of magnifying problems. They encourage your potential even when you don't see it yourself. They offer truth with kindness and loyalty with consistency. Such people are rare, and that is why your struggles should be shared only with those who have shown through action, not words, that they can be trusted. When someone has earned access to your inner world, sharing becomes healing, empowering, and transformative. Protecting your struggles also builds emotional independence. When you don't constantly look for someone to unload your problems onto, you learn to process your emotions with more maturity. You grow stronger. You learn to trust your own instincts. You learn that not every discomfort needs to be spoken, not every fear needs an audience, and not every frustration deserves a reaction. This inner quiet builds resilience. It prevents unnecessary drama and protects your peace. The fewer people who know your battles, the lighter you feel, because you are not managing their opinions, interpretations, or expectations. Trustworthy people are part of your inner circle, and an inner circle must be small. Not everyone should have access to your mind, your heart, or your personal life. By choosing wisely, you reduce emotional stress and avoid preventable disappointment. You learn to distinguish between acquaintances, friends, and confidants. You stop confusing company with connection and attention with loyalty. This clarity helps you form stronger, healthier relationships rooted in respect, honesty, and mutual support. Your struggles shape you, mold you, and strengthen you. They are chapters of your story that require protection until you are ready to share them openly. Share only with those who handle your vulnerability with care and your dreams with respect. Share with people who have shown they deserve a place in your life, not just through words, but through consistent loyalty and genuine character. Protecting your struggles is not about hiding your life, it is about honoring your worth. The right people will help you rise. The wrong people will drain you. Choose wisely. Energy flows where attention goes. Complaining drains you. Working on solutions in private feeds your progress. Every thought you focus on grows stronger, and every emotion you feed becomes your reality. When you spend your time complaining, you give your energy to frustration, negativity, and helplessness. Complaining creates a cycle where you talk about the problem so much that you have no strength left to actually fix it. It exhausts your mind, weakens your motivation, and convinces you that you are stuck. The more you repeat your complaints, the more powerless you feel. And the more powerless you feel, the less action you take. That is how complaining silently steals your progress without you even noticing. Shifting your attention from complaining to problem-solving changes everything. When you put your energy into solutions, even small steps start to build momentum. You begin to see possibilities instead of obstacles. You start feeling capable instead of overwhelmed. Working in private gives you the clarity and focus needed to move forward without the noise of others' opinions. People may judge, doubt, or distract you when you announce your struggles publicly. But when you work silently, you protect your progress from outside negativity. Your energy stays in your control, directed toward growth rather than wasted on unnecessary conversations. Complaining also invites sympathy instead of strength. You get temporary comfort, but it does not change anything in your life. That comfort becomes addictive. You start relying on emotional relief instead of real progress. Meanwhile, your problems stay the same. But when you focus on solutions, you stop looking for sympathy and start building resilience. You learn to carry your challenges with responsibility instead of relying on others for emotional support. Silence pushes you to step into action. It forces you to rely on your own creativity and discipline. Every problem becomes an opportunity to strengthen your character. Energy is a powerful resource. It determines how you think, how you act, and how you show up in your life. If your attention is constantly on what is wrong, what is unfair, or what is difficult, your energy becomes heavy and your progress slows down. But when your attention shifts to what you can do, how you can adapt, and what steps you can take, your energy becomes purposeful. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances and start feeling like the creator of your growth. This shift in energy is what separates people who stay stuck from those who rise. Working in private also helps you develop discipline. When no one is watching, you learn to push yourself out of genuine commitment rather than external pressure. Private effort builds real strength because it is driven by internal motivation. It's easy to work hard when others are watching. It's easy to act productive when you want praise or recognition. But progress built in silence is different. It is driven by intention, not performance. It trains you to stay consistent even when motivation fades. It teaches you patience because you are no longer chasing quick validation, but long-term results. When you stop complaining, your mind becomes clearer. You can think better, plan better, and act with more precision. Complaining fills your mind with emotional noise, but silence creates mental space. In that space, ideas grow, solutions appear, self-belief increases. You begin to trust your ability to handle challenges. You realize that every problem you face has a solution, and even if the solution is slow, your commitment to progress keeps you moving forward. Energy flows into what you choose to focus on. Choose progress, not frustration. Your life moves in the direction of your dominant thoughts. If you give your attention to problems, you stay stuck in problems. If you give your attention to solutions, you grow. Complaining drains your spirit, but silent effort strengthens it. Energy used wisely becomes momentum, and momentum becomes transformation. Your future depends on where you direct your attention today, toward noise or toward mastery. Let results speak louder than words. When you rise quietly, your success carries more weight because people didn't witness your struggles. There is a certain undeniable power in silence, an element of mystery, discipline, and dignity. When you choose not to announce every step you take, you protect your progress from judgment, distraction, and unnecessary opinions. You free yourself from the pressure to impress and the temptation to perform for an audience. Instead, you focus on real growth. You build yourself brick by brick, mistake by mistake, breakthrough by breakthrough. And when the results finally appear, they shock people because they never saw the work behind them. Silent growth is more impactful because it is not created for validation, it is created from commitment. When you work in private, you develop a deeper connection with your goals. You stop comparing your journey to others because no one knows what you're building except you. You stop seeking approval because you understand that approval does not create success, discipline does. Words may inspire, but actions transform. When you let your results do the talking, people start paying attention. They see outcomes, not excuses. They see progress, not promises. They see who you've become, not who you were trying to convince them you would be. Talking too much about your plans often weakens them. You release energy through explanations. You lose momentum in discussions, and you create expectations you may feel pressured to satisfy. Sometimes you inflate your dreams so much through words that you never turn them into action. Silence protects your ambition. It keeps your dreams sacred and your vision unpolluted. When you stop announcing what you will do, you free yourself to simply do it. No noise, no pressure, no audience, just you and the work. That is where the strongest version of you is built. Letting your results speak allows your struggles to stay private, where they belong. People do not need to see your sleepless nights, your doubts, your failures, or the moments you almost gave up. They do not need to know how many times you restarted, reinvented, or pushed past exhaustion. These are the parts of the journey meant only for you, because they shape your inner strength. When the world finally sees your success, it sees only the outcome, not the pain, not the perseverance, not the silent battles. This makes your rise even more powerful because it carries an aura of effort that needs no explanation. Success earned in silence also teaches confidence, not the loud, attention-seeking kind, but the quiet and unshakable kind. You learn to trust your abilities without needing others to confirm them. You learn to stay grounded, even when progress is slow, because you no longer perform for applause. You grow with patience, work with intention, and rise with humility. This kind of confidence is magnetic because it is authentic. People respect results that come from discipline rather than noise. When you allow your results to speak, you also expose the truth about those around you. Some people only support you when you're struggling because it makes them feel superior. Some cheer for your plans but disappear when you start winning. Some doubt you quietly and get uncomfortable when your results prove them wrong. Rising quietly reveals real loyalty and exposes fake encouragement. It also protects you from envy, criticism, and unnecessary competition. The less others know, the more peaceful your journey becomes. So most importantly, silent progress builds character. You learn resilience, patience, humility, and focus. You learn that success is not something you announce. It's something you embody when your results finally appear. They tell the story better than any speech could. They carry credibility because they came from action, persistence, and unseen dedication. People listen more closely to results because they are undeniable. Words can be doubted, intentions can be misunderstood, but results cannot be argued with. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It protects your dreams, strengthens your discipline, and magnifies the impact of your success. When you rise quietly, you rise powerfully. Let your results speak. Let your silence build you. Let your success surprise those who counted you out. And let your journey be a reminder that the loudest victories are the ones earned in the quiet. The strongest version of you is built in silence, through private battles, disciplined choices, and unwavering focus. When you protect your struggles, you protect your energy. When you stop seeking validation, you grow independent. When you stop complaining, you reclaim your power. And when you work quietly, your results become undeniable. This journey isn't about announcing your pain or proving yourself to the world. It's about strengthening your character, sharpening your discipline, and rising with purpose. Let others talk while you transform. Let them doubt while you build. Let your silence shape you and let your results speak for you. Because the world doesn't respect noise, it respects progress. The ones who win are not always the loudest, but the most consistent, the most focused, and the most committed to the work no one sees. So move in silence, grow in silence, and rise in silence. And let your success speak the final word.